everybody, so we have a lot more Smash speculation and Nintendo stuff to talk about today. First up is our latest Smash event. The Smash Bros. JP Twitter wrote, Tournament Event, Celebration 35th Anniversary, Series Competition. Will be held for 3 days from 5/28 Friday. This tournament is limited to fighters, stages, and items of the Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus, Castlevania, and Dragon Quest series, which will celebrate their 35th anniversaries in 2021. I think this is a really cool idea for an event here, with all of these classic series hitting their 35th anniversaries this year. Also today I saw some articles saying Sakurai was retiring after Smash Ultimate ends, but just to clear things up, according to Push Dustin, he does not appear to be retiring from making games, but rather he might be retiring from his bi-weekly Famitsu column. Still sad to hear his Famitsu column might end soon, as it's always been really fun hearing what Sakurai has to say in those columns. Today we also got the release dates for some upcoming Pokemon games. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl will both release later this year on November 19th, which is actually my birthday, so that's kinda cool. And we can see the box art for them here. Also, Legends Arceus got its box art and release date revealed as well. Legends Arceus is releasing January 28th, 2022, which is actually sooner than I imagined it would. A few days ago, Nintendo released some specifics for what the Age of Calamity expansion pass will contain. This image lays out the plan, and it says, Purchase bonus available May 28th, newly added weapon for Link, newly added costume for Link. Wave 1 available June 2021, expanded roster, newly added weapon types, new challenges in the Royal Ancient Lab, newly added challenging enemies. Wave 2 available November 2021, new character vignettes, newly added stages, expanded roster, new battle skills for existing characters. Nintendo also revealed what the first new weapon and outfit set would be, and it's this Ancient Guardian Soldier armor and sword. Now you might recognize this costume because it's very similar to the bonus Mii costume we got in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for purchasing the full second Fighter's Pass. What really struck me about this costume showing up in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is that it fits for the final missing piece of Zelda information I had heard many months ago. So last year I made a video about some rumors I had heard supposedly for Breath of the Wild 2. I listed 4 things I had heard. 3 of the things were the game would involve time travel, Zelda would be playable, and the game would feature co-op. All of those things happened in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So I began to suspect the rumors I heard about Breath of the Wild 2 might have actually been information about Age of Calamity that were mistaken as information for Breath of the Wild 2. It is still, of course, possible some of these things I mentioned, like playable Zelda or even time travel, could show up in Breath of the Wild 2, of course, but since all these things did fit for Age of Calamity, I assumed the Breath of the Wild 2 rumors I heard were simply mistaken information for Age of Calamity. Well, now the final missing piece I had heard also fits for Age of Calamity, that the Ancient Soldier Mii costume is a reference to something yet to be revealed, and we now have this as an outfit in Age of Calamity. So again, while any of this stuff I heard might also show up in Breath of the Wild 2, I truly believe what I heard, the real information I heard, was just ascribed to the wrong game. Breath of the Wild 2, rather than where it was actually coming from, which was Age of Calamity rumors. One of the first reasons I started suspecting Breath of the Wild 2 Zelda might be a potential DLC fighter in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was because of this Ancient Soldier Mii costume rumor I had heard. Basically, I figured if Sakurai added the costume as a bonus for the second pass, and the costume had something to do with Breath of the Wild 2, then maybe Sakurai was in discussions with the Breath of the Wild 2 team, and decided to add the costume because of that. My thoughts were that if this costume really did mean Sakurai was working with the Breath of the Wild 2 team in some capacity, then maybe being involved with that team at all began because of some future fighter or something Sakurai was working on for Smash. That's all highly speculative, of course. But anyway, having this costume show up in Age of Calamity now fulfills every rumor I had heard supposedly about Breath of the Wild 2, however, for Age of Calamity. So I now believe all those rumors were in fact actually for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity and were mistaken as Breath of the Wild 2 rumors. Alright, so last time I talked about how a GameSpot video for Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster named the demi-fiend character Masahiro Sakurai, and we discussed whether or not someone at GameSpot was potentially hinting at something for Smash Bros, or possibly just making an obscure reference to a character from another Shin Megami Tensei game whose name is actually Masahiro Sakurai. I then went on to simply discuss the chances for demi-fiend to get into Smash Bros, and I talked a bit about how Microsoft and Square Enix have gotten characters in both the first and second pass, with Steve and Sephiroth showing up in the second pass, and how maybe Atlas could get another character and do the same, have a character in both the first and second pass. Well, over on Twitter, at Waluigi Island wrote me, something I realized about demi-fiend. We know that Atlas is still involved in Smash. Sophia from Persona 5 Strikers got a spirit in the last update. Square Enix also had spirits before Sephiroth, Mana, Octopath, and Bravely Default events. So we know Atlas is still involved. This is true, the Sophia spirit was added to Smash Bros. During the second pass, which shows Atlas is still involved to some extent with the Super Smash Bros. Series. Unsure if demi-fiend will really happen, but it's certainly a possibility. We've also been discussing this Instagram post from Scott White and Lex Lang, the voice actors for Crash Bandicoot and Neo Cortex, and how they have been teasing a recording they did for some mysterious project. We don't even know if it's Crash related or not, but with all the teasing they've been doing, it certainly seems like it is. But exactly what they were recording for still remains a mystery. Scott White was asked directly if it was a recording for a Smash trailer and responded with a shrugging emoji, which is the kind of non-answer response one might expect if there was a non-disclosure agreement going on for Crash being in Smash or something. Shulk's voice actor did allude to an exciting recording he did before Shulk got in Smash, so there is a precedent set for voice actors to tease about exciting recordings without giving any specifics and then later find out the recording was in fact for Super Smash Bros. However, now Scott White and Lex Lang have teased even further about what this recording could be for. Richie Farley on Twitter wrote, another banger from Scott White on his Instagram. He confirms that he and Lex were at the studio recording something, but ended the video right before he said what it was. It's more than likely Crash in my opinion, but what is this project? We'll know soon. And here's the Instagram video Scott put out there.
Don't you try to eat my burger? That's my burger. Oh, look guys, there's been a lot of questions about me and Lex Lang and that session. It started quite a fire with all these websites saying what the project is or what it isn't. So I just want to take a moment, just let you guys know that Lex and I were in the studio together, and we were lurking, and we were working on the brand new.
So he ends with brand new, but the video cuts away. And no, that isn't a smash burger he's eating, it's a fat burger. I checked. Anyway, shortly after this, Lex Lang put out a video on Instagram as well, and here's what that one says.
Oh, hey, it's Lex here, and apparently Scott White, who is a fantastic voice actor who plays Crash in Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, recently posted some pictures from a session we were doing together, and I just wanted to set the record straight. A lot of people thought that it might be a remake of Crash Twin Sanity. Others thought it was possibly Smash Ultimate as DLCs. And the truth of the matter is, you know, we both are super excited about it because it's a chance for us to really get into, well, I'll be right back. I'll finish this in a sec.
So once again, the video cuts out before we get an answer, this time due to a phone call, but here Lex specifically mentions people thinking it could be a remake of Crash Twin Sanity or Crash being a DLC character for Smash Ultimate. He actually names Smash here in this video. I don't think we can be positive if saying that would be breaking a non-disclosure agreement or not, if Crash really was coming to Smash Bros. As all Lex said was that other people were thinking it could be for Smash, but never specifically said whether or not the recording was for Smash. Though I have to admit this level of teasing does seem rather risky if it were actually for Smash. Smash aside though, these teasing videos certainly seem to be something Crash related at the very least. Lex went on to respond to some questions about whether this recording was for a new Crash Bash party game, and Lex responded, nope. I wonder if it's a Crash Bash remake. I would love a Twin Sanity remake, but a new Crash game like the Wumpa League would be awesome. And Lex responded, that would be awesome. Someone asked Spyro 4 or Crash 5, and Lex responded, I don't think so. Someone else said, a remake of Twin Sanity is my biggest dream as a gamer. Lex Lang said, me too. Hey Mad Scientist Boy, World Domination Man, you're breaking the NDA. I bet that was Nintendo on the phone. Clever, Lex Lang. And he responded with just some emoji. Bro Lex, please be Crash in Smash. I know it ain't, but I need it. And Lex Lang said, I wish. So a few of these possibilities get clear convict responses like nope, or I don't think so, while the Nintendo and Smash questions are answered a bit hazier with emojis and I wish. Again, I have no idea how much of this teasing would even be allowed if the recording really was for Crash Bandicoot coming to Super Smash Bros. But we do have someone else who has sort of weighed in on this whole thing, whose opinion on the matter is probably worth taking into account here. You see, comicbook.com did an article about this teased recording thing and how it might be a leak for Crash Bandicoot coming to Super Smash Bros. They even called the article, "Did Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's next DLC character just a leak?" Well, Imran Khan made a tweet about this article and simply wrote, "No." Now that title is clearly very clickbaity, and it's possible Imran is simply responding to the title itself here, basically saying that a character did not just leak, and the article is all speculation, and therefore the title is misleading. However, we could also read into Imran's no tweet here a bit and take it a step further to possibly mean that the specific character the article is talking about getting leaked, Crash Bandicoot, is not coming to Super Smash Bros. Or at least that Imran is saying that Crash has not been leaked as the next character anyway. Imran Khan is one of the few people who seems to have been in the know for some of the Fighter Pass 2 fighters. For instance, Imran cryptically proved that they knew Min Min was the fighter from ARMS we were getting in Smash. Imran is fairly well respected, so saying this sort of convict no in a post in regards to anything Smash is slightly risky. While, like I said before, he didn't directly shoot down Crash here, and this no tweet might actually just be about the article title, I do think if Crash was actually our next fighter and ended up getting revealed at E3 or something, then I assume Imran might actually get a bit of backlash for posting this no tweet. I also have to assume that Imran is aware of this possibility, that some fans might take this no to mean no Crash in Smash. Regardless, my point is, for Imran to throw his hat in the ring at all here might be a bad sign of Crash's chances. Basically, if Imran really did know something about the next Smash fighter, responding with a no to an article about Crash might mean it ain't Crash, even if he didn't mean to directly deconfirm the character. I do think Imran was only saying no to the title being clickbait and simply meant that the next fighter has not leaked. However, I also think if Imran really did know who the next fighter is, and if an article came out about that hypothetical character leaking for Smash, he probably wouldn't make a tweet saying no to it. So two options here. One, Imran doesn't know the next fighter and was simply saying the article was clickbait and there was not a character leak. Or two, Imran does know the next fighter, and since the article is about Crash, even if he was simply saying no to the article's title being clickbait and that the next character hadn't leaked, if the character he heard being next was actually Crash, he probably wouldn't have made the no tweet at all, because it could be interpreted as him saying no to Crash, and then, of course, we'd end up getting Crash. So admittedly, those are some big ifs. So probably safest to just take this no comment at face value and think that Imran was simply denouncing the article's title itself as being clickbait and he was basically just saying no character had leaked, and not that he was saying Crash isn't happening. And yeah, I'm aware this is reading way too much into a single word response. Still, with Scott White and Lex Lang doing all this teasing for some recording, which might not even be possible to tease this much if it really was for Smash due to like a non-disclosure agreement, combined with Imran saying no to this article, which is about Crash leaking for Smash, and Imran being one of the few people who might actually know the rest of the Fighters Pass, logically all this stuff might add up to not boding so well for Crash Bandicoot's chances in Smash, sadly. Also, if we're going to read into what Imran Khan has been saying, he actually may have already openly mentioned the character we could be getting next. In an episode of Kinda Funny Gamecast, Imran talked about how he believed either Sora or Master Chief would be the big reveal of the second pass, and went on to say that Sora had been attempted before, but Disney Japan apparently shot down the negotiations. Well, that's sort of a roundabout way of saying Master Chief is going to be the big reveal this pass, if it isn't Sora. Obviously, it was said as pure speculation, but reading between the lines here, he was at least speculating Master Chief at one time. Now, the podcast where Imran mentioned this happened before we got Steve or Sephiroth revealed. So it's possible Imran simply was aware that Square Enix and Microsoft had characters coming in the second pass, and assumed it'd either be Master Chief or Sora. I think a lot of people who were guessing at characters from those two companies were guessing at specifically those two characters, Sora and Master Chief, before we ended up getting Steve and Sephiroth instead. That's of course not to say Master Chief can't happen just because we got Steve. We have yet to see a company double up on characters in a single pass, but thinking it can't happen at all is definitely one of those fan rules. And it seems with every new fighter, we get another one of these fan rules broken anyway. And if any third-party company could potentially get multiple fighters in one pass, I think Microsoft could be the one to do it. Also, Master Chief, of course, could make a lot of sense for the next fighter, as the next fighter is almost certainly being revealed at E3. And it might very well be a character that appeals to the Western audiences. Crash Bandicoot and Master Chief both fit this bill, and are two of the more speculated E3 reveal candidate characters. A lot of people are speculating that one of those two will end up being Challenger Pack 10 and revealed at E3. So for us to speculate and think Imran's no tweet about the comicbook.com article about Crash, combined with what he said on Kinda Funny Gamecast many months ago, means that Crash is out and Master Chief is in, is admittedly reading way too much into Imran's comments. I want to be absolutely clear, he has not said definitively no to Crash, and he's also not said definitively yes to Master Chief, or anything even close to that. Even still, though, we have very few people who have correctly predicted Fighter Pass 2 characters, so we're speculating with what we can here. Now, all that Imran stuff aside, if we go down the hypothetical path of speculation and think that Crash isn't happening, then Master Chief does seem like a prime candidate to be our E3 reveal character instead. While getting Crash and Master Chief feels like the perfect ending to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I've always thought it was nearly impossible we'd end up getting both of them as our final two characters. And they both feel like really perfect E3 character reveals. Honestly, getting just one of these characters would be an absolute miracle, though Super Smash Bros. Sometimes makes miracle character choices actually come true. And that's kind of where we're at. We've gotten mind-blowing miracle characters before, to the point where we sort of expect them to happen now, at least now and again. And we likely have our final E3 before Smash Ultimate DLC is done. So if we really do have a character at the hype level of Crash Bandicoot or Master Chief left in this Fighter's Pass, likely they're going to show up next. Which oddly makes characters like Crash Bandicoot and Master Chief feel like somewhat of rivals for that final miracle, mind-blowing character spot. I never like when characters become rivals of one another for spots in Smash. I often like both characters a lot and would like to see both make it in Smash. And when it comes to Crash Bandicoot and Master Chief, that's definitely the case. I like both these guys. As I said before, I honestly think getting both Crash and Master Chief is objectively the best final two character choices we could possibly get at this point. But I'm also wary of thinking we could actually get that lucky here. While I definitely think both characters are possibilities, if I had to guess between one or the other actually showing up in Smash, I'm leaning towards Master Chief having the edge here. We got Banjo at E3 2019. If the pandemic hadn't happened, then Steve might have been our E3 2020 reveal character. So maybe E3 2021 could have also been planned to reveal yet another Microsoft character for Smash. So potentially Master Chief as the third Microsoft character. We also, of course, have a ton of things pointing to a strong relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft, and even specifically we have rumors of Halo and Nintendo collaborating, with rumors of the Master Chief collection possibly coming to Switch, or maybe Master Chief in Smash. There's this fan theory I've heard being called the Rule of Three. The YouTube channel Game Ovation made a video about it. Basically that a lot of third-party companies in Smash are ending up with 3 fighters total. Konami has 3 characters in Smash, Capcom has 3, Sega has 3, Square Enix, again, has 3 fighters right now. If Microsoft got one more fighter, like if Master Chief got in, they'd also end up with 3 total fighters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So maybe 3 is the limit, or maybe they're shooting for 3 characters each company. Of course, SNK only has 1 fighter with Terry, and seemingly few options left with how many SNK characters showed up on Terry's stage. Not that being on the stage necessarily deconfirms a fighter, I guess. And Bandai Namco only has Pac-Man so far in Smash, and with only 2 spots left, of course we can't have all of these third-party companies end up hitting 3 characters total. And of course it's sort of an arbitrary pattern to think we need every third-party company to have 3 fighters anyway. Even still though, I could actually see Microsoft ending up with 3 characters by the end. They're a really big company just like Capcom, Konami, and Square, so getting 3 characters just like those other companies could make sense. Now, when talking about Microsoft characters, it's worth noting Microsoft also owns the Doom series, since they acquired Bethesda and id, and we do have Bethesda content in Smash already with the Vault Boy Mii costume. While Doom and Halo are very different games, and Master Chief and Doomslayer are very different characters, it has always seemed like when discussing one of the characters for Smash, both of these potential fighters get mentioned together. I think it basically boils down to both of them being good first-person shooter reps. Doom being one of the first-person shooters ever, and the one that sort of popularized the genre as a whole, while Halo began the first-person shooter craze of the 2000s, and helped the genre make the leap to online, and helped start the popularity of online shooters, especially console online shooters. So both of these characters mark important points in the history of an entire genre of gaming. A genre that so far Smash Bros. Only tangentially reps through characters like Samus. Personally, I'm a bit more of a Doom fan, simply because I'm an old school gamer, I suppose. But don't get me wrong, I also really like Halo, and have fond memories of the LAN parties and early online gaming days from back when I was in high school. So either of these characters actually getting in Smash would be absolutely incredible. I'm a big fan of both for different reasons, though either of them seem to scratch a similar itch for making the Smash Bros. Roster a true celebration of gaming. Given that we had that Marty Stratton interview from a while back, and everything Master Chief seems to have going for him lately, I'd say Master Chief seems the more likely candidate if another Microsoft-owned character happens, and it ends up being one of these first-person shooter giants. Now, of course, getting another Microsoft rep doesn't have to happen at all. It's possible any character could show up next from any company. And Crash, of course, still has plenty of good things going for him, and is not out of the running at all, in my opinion. Definitely one of the remaining potential miracle Smash Ultimate character choices that I could see happening before all is said and done. And I do think at least one more big miracle choice will get in before the end of the Fighters Pass. But if I had to guess at Challenger Pack 10 right now and who we might see at E3, my guess would be Master Chief. That is just a guess though, and I may very well change my mind before we actually get to E3 here. Speaking of E3, I mentioned how Team Cherry said they had nothing to show at E3 this year, and I lamented about how that might mean no possible deluxe Hollow Knight Mii costume with the next E3 revealed character. Well, Lamomni Alpha wrote me this in the comments. They said, I'd like to point out the Mii costumes are revealed in the Sakurai Presents, so one could still accompany Challenger Pack 10 if the presentation isn't at E3. Which is totally true. The Miis don't get shown off until the Sakurai Presents. So even if Team Cherry literally has nothing showing up at E3, we won't see the Mii costume wave that shows up alongside the next Smash fighter until the Sakurai Presents for that character. And likely E3 would only have the reveal trailer and not the Sakurai Presents video. Also, speaking of E3, apparently one of the major publishers might have had its entire event leaked. Over on Twitter, Alex Donaldson wrote, "There's one major publisher where I don't know how they've done it, but probably the most comprehensive big event leak I've seen in years is currently happening behind the scenes. Not just info, assets, footage, madness. Just a countdown till someone releases this stuff now." And Special Nick wrote, "The leaky ship is Square." So the word on the street right now is some major publisher has a giant leak going around within the right circles of people. And the publisher in question might be Square Enix. There's also been a leak for a new Square title. Nebellion wrote, "Rumor, Square Enix is working on a new action-focused Final Fantasy title with Team Ninja called Final Fantasy Origin. This title is exclusive to PS5 and is coming to PC later. Alpha demo coming this summer." Souls Hunt on Twitter was claiming it's a Dark Souls-like game from Team Ninja and Square, and I've seen some articles talking about this one, so potentially this could be coming from the big publisher leak if the big publisher that has a giant leak going around behind the scenes is actually Square. Two game series I absolutely love have gotten some news recently. Activision might be working on a new Tony Hawk game. Drummer Jess Margera mentioned he believed he was working on some new Tony Hawk game coming out. He had a song on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 soundtrack, so maybe we're getting Tony Hawk 3 plus 4 remastered. That would be awesome. I absolutely adored the 1 and 2 remake, so I'd love to get 3 and 4 as well. The other game series I absolutely love that's getting a new entry is surprisingly Time Splitters. Time Splitters has been a dead franchise for like 16 years now, and apparently the original members of Free Radical Design are reforming the studio and have promised to bring us a new Time Splitters game. Probably a while off before we see it, but I'm super pumped this is happening. We also got some new info on the Sonic 2 movie. A small plot synopsis leaked, and it says, according to the copyright filing, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 will go like this. After settling in Green Hills, Sonic is ready for more freedom, and Tom and Maddie agree to leave him home while they go on vacation. But no sooner are they gone when Dr. Robotnik comes back. This time with a new partner, Knuckles, in search for an emerald that has the power to both build and destroy civilizations. Sonic teams up with his own sidekick, Tails, and together they embark on a journey to find the emerald before it falls into the wrong hands. So we have the classic Knuckles being gullible and working for Dr. Robotnik trope, we have emeralds, we have Tails and Sonic teaming up. This seems like a lot of stuff from the original Sonic Genesis games, so I'm really excited. Also, apparently there was a listing for a new Sonic collection on a French retailer website. They previously had listed Sonic Colors Ultimate back in April. And we have a Sonic 30th anniversary celebration coming up on the 27th, tomorrow. Maybe these rumored games will actually show up there. Finally, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe got a small update. Addressed an issue that caused tournament points to be reset, addressed an issue that caused match history with friends to be reset. Minor updates here, but still cool to see this game continue to be supported by Nintendo. Also on the subject of Mario Kart, something neat for us Geno fans, on the Cartoon Network show Craig of the Creek, they mentioned a fake game called Geno Kart Deluxe, which is apparently a reference to Mario Kart and of course Geno himself. Awesome reference. I hope stuff like this shows Nintendo and Square that people out there really do love Geno and of course would love to see him show up in more Mario games. I would honestly love to see Geno show up in a Mario Kart game. I always thought Geno and Mallow would make for a really good doubles team if they did a sequel to Double Dash specifically. Alright, well that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. What do you guys think about the voice actors for Crash Bandicoot and Neo Cortex teasing about some recording they did? Do you think they'd even be able to tease that much if it was really for Smash? And what do you think about Imran Khan making that no comment about the article saying the next Smash character had leaked and the article saying the next leaked character was Crash because of the recording thing? Do you think Imran was saying no to Crash or just no to the article title? Do you think I'm reading way too much into all this? If you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff in this video, leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to PapaGenos!
Twitter, Patreon, Discord.